Hello, Bobber Nation. It's me, Jimbobbington. And today, is my birthday. I turned 40 years old today. Washed the bike, detailed it up a little bit, and of course had to go for a ride. So I said, hey, I'm going to take Bobber Nation with me. And here we are. So yeah, 40 years old, that's a milestone. We surpassed 5,000 miles on Bobber this week. So milestones for everybody. Hopefully, you could tell a difference, but I also have a slightly different microphone setup. And hopefully you can hear my voice a little bit clearer. Previously, I was recording directly to an old cell phone, and then I had to sync the audio file up at the end. Finally bit the bullet and bought a GoPro mic adapter, which then didn't work, so I had to buy a TRRS to TRS adapter, and here we are. I think it sounds clear. Hopefully you all can tell a difference as well. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are going to discuss the progressive 444 suspension and how I settled upon those shocks, my decision-making process, and all that. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So I've owned this motorcycle for 10 months, roughly. Actually, a little bit more. And almost that entire time, I've been doing research on suspension, knowing that inevitably I would have to upgrade it. There's a lot of different options out there. Olin's and Fox, Progressive, the list goes on and on. Nitron, I mean, tons of stuff out there. The Bobber shocks are 11 inches long. Regular Scout shocks are 11.5 inches long. Now there's tons of options out there for like 12-inch, 13-inch. It seems like 11, 11.5 inch are a little bit trickier to find. And obviously, tons of everybody is out of everything. Stock is low on everything. It's hard to grab something. But that's neither here nor there. Initially, I really wanted to do something with some turquoise springs. So I was planning on getting the Nitron racing shocks because you could get those in a turquoise. Then I started powder coating things, and I didn't want. Man, this guy's going slow. I guess he is going to speed limit though. I didn't want 19 different shades of turquoise, and now that I have a true powder coat color code, I want to continue matching that. So I found a company called Super Shocks, Shocks with an X, that's how you know it's cool. And they will powder coat the springs in any color you want for a modest upgrade charge of like 125 bucks. And you'll need to also wait an extra 3 to 4 weeks. And that was looking pretty enticing. They're a medium cost brand. I think they were like $625. So with powder coating, that would put them at like $800. And these are specifically made for the Indian Scout and Scout Bobber. But so I decided those were going to be the ones I was going to go with. But I really, really liked the look of an external reservoir shock. They just look cool. Obviously, they're more functional, have more moving parts, can probably do a better job at everything a shock absorber is supposed to do. And then they have adjustable dampening and adjustable rebound. Now look at this house. This house is outrageous. You'd think it was like a chalet up in Aspen, but this is just Castle Pines here. Ridiculous. But the more and more I thought about it, and obviously those are like closer to $1,000 in price. But this bike is one of the things where, one of the first projects of mine where I am willing to spend whatever it takes when it makes sense. So nothing was out of the question as far as suspension goes. Man, this guy's leaning. You're going like 20 miles an hour, dude. I don't think. Yeah, so nothing was out of the question. I was looking at everything, regardless of price. $1,300 bucks, $500 bucks, etc. But when it all came down to it, adjustable rebound and adjustable dampening is not something I am familiar with, nor do I feel like I have the ability to properly dial that in. So I decided I'm going to steer clear of the fancier shocks in fear that I will end up adjusting it in a way that would make it worse than a standard shock that comes set a specific way. So back to a typical style shock that only has like a preload setting. Again, there's lots of stuff out there. So again, I was set back on the Super Shocks, but there was something about those that I didn't like aesthetically. Just the shape of the top part. It's super functional, but again, this is one of the only projects I've ever had where I cared so much about how it looks. The bike is a head turner, and I want to keep turning heads. Usually I'm all about function over form, but with this motorcycle, I am equally worried about both factors. So the Super Shocks were out. And that's what brought me to looking at progressives once again. The 413s, those are cheap. They're like $300, somewhere around there. But they just seemed to... I didn't want to skimp too badly. I didn't want to buy something on the low end. I'm not racing. I'm not hitting the twisties in the mountains very often. Most of what I do is city driving or country roads where the speed limit's like 55 anyway, and it's not too curvy. I don't get crazy, but I enjoy aggressively taking off from stoplights and things like that the most. So performance is important, but it's not, I don't need ultimate performance. So I can sacrifice a little bit in the performance department. But 413s were just a little too cheap for me. The 444s is where it's at for me. They have this like advanced dampening technology or something. I can't remember what it's called. I'll probably throw the text up on the screen right here. So, but it's got these specially designed channels and different holes inside that allow the fluid to flow in different ways depending on how aggressively you're riding. Now, I don't necessarily understand how that works. They're probably not going to tell us so that it can't be stolen. But it sounds cool, and that kind of helped ease my mind about not being able to adjust my own dampening. Thinking that the shocks have been designed so well, the dampening is a bit dynamic. And I like that. And now I've been riding for 300 miles, maybe a little bit more with these shocks. And obviously, the moment I put them on and went for my first ride, I loved them. But nothing about them has disappointed me with my decision. And they are fantastic. They look good. They're beefy, at least compared to the stock shocks. And everything I've put them through has been great. My back hurts less than it did before. I haven't attempted a super long ride, so I don't know if I can take longer rides than before. We'll find out. I am actually, depending on weather, going to try to head up Pikes Peak tomorrow. So that's about a 19-mile ride once I get there, from about 7,500 feet to a little over 14,000 feet. So that ought to be interesting. Lots of switchbacks. We'll see how that goes. I'm a little nervous, but obviously excited. That was the most epic little quick trip I could think of to do for my 40th birthday. So stay tuned to the channel for that. People with 444s, give me some comments down below. Let me know why you made the decision to go with those. They are, well, I think I got mine for 640 bucks, and then the next day the same seller had upped the price to like 790. But under normal circumstances, these are mid-range price. Should be able to find them in the 600 to 700 range if you try hard enough or look long enough. Like I said, I did want to powder coat the springs, but ultimately I didn't think that that would flow with the lines of the bike that I'm laying out. And I decided against it. But there's a lot of things to think about if you are looking to upgrade. Like I've said in other videos, I do suggest you ride with the stock shocks. Let them beat you up for a while and appreciate it. So once you finally upgrade those shocks, you will have a new respect. But thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully I don't die tomorrow on Pikes Peak, and I will come back to you with some more videos. If you appreciate my videos, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. But until next time, this is Jimbobbington reminding you, don't be a skid marker. A goodbye.